Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Down the Rabbit Hole News. I'm the rabbit. And are you guys hitting the like button? Are you guys subscribing? Because we're reporting and we're giving commentary to various topics here on the channel. Make sure you're doing that for me. I would appreciate it. Okay, we're going to dive right into it. Now, we had reported earlier in an upload about how there's over 2,000 kids in Maui that we don't know what school enrollment looks like. We don't know what happened. A report was released by the Hawaii Department of Education indicating that they're still waiting to hear back from these 2,000 kids, okay, students. And we show that data here based on what the report was saying. Now, the superintendent did an interview about 2 days ago.
Superintendent of the Hawaii Department of Education.
And joining us now to talk about the impact of the fire on West Maui schools and the resources available. And thank you first of all, for joining us. But I wanted to start off with just how are you helping students, first of all, because we know they've been through so much.
We do have a number of resources and services for our students. We stood up mental health supports for our students, both in West and in Central Maui. We've partnered with HMSA for supports for our employees. We have Hazel Health resources available for our students. There's online services, apps that students can reach out and get supports from.
A number of students have opted now for distance learning again. What kind of resources are available to them, and how do you ensure that they don't miss out on too much?
Which, by the way, in the report that they release, as far as the action plan that they're going to take, they did talk about the resources that are available to the students, to the parents, to the community as well, as they're trying to navigate through this situation.
Well, we have a number of students who have enrolled from West Maui into our Central Maui schools.
Okay.
And so we are continuing to encourage our students to enroll there. The department will be providing transportation. We're setting that up so that we can provide transportation for students from West to Central Maui. I think it's really important that as our students get into school, when they're ready, that we are able to provide those mental health services, counseling services, whatever that we need to do to provide students the resources that they need.
I don't know if there's been updated numbers, but I believe what we had reported was that the difference in the number between students who had enrolled before the fires and after, there was a difference of about 2,000 who had not re-enrolled. Is that number still accurate? And what are you doing to try to address that?
They had 3,001 enrolled, and there's about 2,000 that have not enrolled. That is concerning. Where are these kids? That's really my question. I think it's everybody's question. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as we're reviewing this interview.
That number is still accurate. We do have, again, we're encouraging students and families when they're ready to apply and enroll in those schools in Central Maui. We do have folks on the ground in our shelters that we've provided packets, enrollment packets, transportation packets.
Now, he does say here that when the students are ready to enroll, right? So when he says that, I kind of made me think, like, is he like, are some people electing not to enroll right now? Are some parents keeping their kids out of school right now because they're not ready, given the impact, which would make sense, right? It's a traumatic, tragic situation that's going on. But based on his language here, it made me wonder, well, is it possible that there are some students that are electing not to enroll that were previously enrolled, that this happened, and so now there's just severe trauma based on what the fires and everything that's going around? Or are these the students that are not accounted for from the validated list, which again, we have no actual DOBs or ages? Just a thought.
Makes it as easy as possible for our families to be able to provide those documents and complete those documents to enroll in school. We are in the process of standing up other kinds of activities and learning opportunities for students in West Maui. It won't look like the traditional school, though. We haven't been able to open our 3 schools in West Maui yet. We'll do that when definitely we have the word that it's safe to do so.
Yeah, I think there's a concern, Keith. And again, we understand these families have gone through so much, and this might not be the priority at the time, but them not re-enrolling, and we've seen that they already missed out on quite a bit of learning, perhaps maybe from COVID. The fact that they're not back in schools, how concerned are you as an educator yourself?
Right. That is very concerning. I think, although in this particular situation, our families, our employees are going through so much. It is we're concerned first and foremost for their mental health. for their well-being. That's so important. And we want to be sure that when working together with families and our students and our employees when they're ready, we can help them to transition into school. In being able to talk to some of our folks, the challenges that they face is immense. And so we continue to do the best we can to help support everyone in these very evolving and changing times.
You mentioned that you're going to have non-traditional schooling on the West Side. What does that mean exactly?
We're looking at possibly learning hubs, and so we're engaging with some of our teachers and educators and other partners to see what that might look like. And again, in this particular situation, so many things are changing. I don't think there's any one answer that can come from anyone, but all of us working together, I think we'll be able to provide the supports that we need for our students, our families. And
First of all, I very much appreciate that he's talking about, the community working together. I think it's very important that it is a time for people to come together and work together, and help facilitate things, as well as maybe and problem solve some of these things, right? One of the biggest concerns that I have is the access for Wi-Fi, especially for those remote learning students. And then access to that, are they receiving any help with that? Because it's definitely important, right? For them to be able to receive some support, some help for their Wi-Fi, as well as the students. Just a thought.
our employees.
I know you talked to, I imagine, many of your teachers, your administrators, students. What have you heard from them as to what they experienced on August 8th, or how they jumped into action? Anything you might have heard?
I was able to talk with a number of our teachers at Airport Beach on this last Monday. And that was really important. One story that comes to mind at Lahaina Luna High School. As even though school was closed, we have boarders. 42 student boarders who board at Lahaina Luna, and when the situation occurred, and the fire was raging. Our principal, Richard Coroso, at Lahaina Luna High School, and some of his staff, quickly got students together, 42 of them, and got them over to Maui High School's gymnasium, and navigating through wherever they need to get to Maui High, so that those students are safe and able to
My
their parents are able
goodness.
to come and pick them up.
Wow.
Also, I think I really want to give a shout out to our principals in the Lahaina complex, as well as our complex area superintendents. Like our families in Lahaina, our educators also lost their homes. And I tell you, those principals, even though they're also dealing with their own loss, when I first got a hold of them, they weren't thinking about themselves. It was about my community, about my families. But yet they're dealing with their personal tragedies too.
Wow. So we have educators that have also, some of the educators at the school lost their homes, have tragedies of their own, and they're still having to pull together and figure out how to help in this situation.
And as everyone is, so I think it's really important that we all continue to work together, support each other through this very challenging time.
How are you supporting those teachers who may have lost everything? Are they coming back to work, or are they just trying to deal with the aftermath?
So currently, all of our teachers, and the 300 employees in that complex area, in that complex, are on paid administrative leave. So one of the things that we don't want them to worry about is about their job and their pay. They need to really focus on themselves, their families, and their own health. And so they're on paid administrative leave. We are having a convening on early next week at an on-site location in West Maui, to bring everyone together to provide information on different kinds of services, whether it be counseling services, just an opportunity to get everyone together, to see each other, and to begin that process of working together.
I love that, this superintendent is really putting in the forefront the fact that there's going to be a need for mental health services for everyone to work together.
It's not the highest priority, but there are people very much interested, and perhaps it could be a cathartic release to have some sports back. Is that coming anytime soon, or when do you see it coming back?
Currently, the campuses, at Lahaina Luna High School, Lahaina Intermediate, Princess Nahia, and Elementary, those campuses still remain closed. And we're not going to be opening them until we are assured that it's safe to reopen. Athletics play an important role in our students' well-being. Currently, though, for Lahaina Luna High School, campus still is closed. So that's something that I think we're continuing discussions on with Maui Interscholastic League.
All right, Keith. Thank you. Superintendent Keith Hayashi on a very tough subject.
All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments about this situation. Of course, we're going to continue to keep reporting and hopefully using what we can to determine information, right, as things are coming about. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Somebody left a comment that I thought was interesting, and I'm going to read it in verbatim because um, I just think that it aligns itself with what's possibly going on as well, as far as all these kids being not enrolled in the missing unaccounted for validated list. Someone said our fear with these family households, sometimes multiple generations in one house, the whole generation has been wiped out. This could be why no one is speaking up. I hope we are wrong. This whole thing makes me incredibly sad. Absolutely. And I shout out to the person who made that comment. I couldn't agree more. Hence why I feel like we need to keep talking about it and bring some awareness to it, and ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. And so as long as we're being respectful about our questions that we're asking, and they're coming from a place of truly wanting to know some and know and want some answers, and that our intent is pure when we're asking these questions. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Rabbits out.